Jai Saram, Jai Saram. Welcome, Vijay.
Thank you.
Thank you for being with us today, brother. We know that you have an amazing family history with Swami, and you yourself have been very, very blessed in this life to have known Swami all of your life.
Yeah, thank you for having me. And so I was fortunate to be born in a Sai family. My maternal grandmother was Swami's devotee, and since I've opened my eyes, I've only seen Swami's picture in the puja room and doing bhajans and so on and so forth. I think my earliest memory of physically seeing Swami was in 1977. A year or two later, Swami was supposed to come to our hometown, which is Bhopal actually. That's where he was supposed to come. The Sai Center decided to perform a play. And the person who was directing the play was my father's close friend. He told my father that you should send Vijay to Puttaparthi in high school. So that's how the whole notion of my parents sending me to Puttaparthi started basically. Right, my father's friend telling him to do that. But usually the admission starts in the 9th grade. So I finished my 8th grade and then we went to Puttaparthi for my admission. And we spent almost like 2 months at that time. What I very clearly remember is every day getting up at about 4:30 in the morning and making a Pradakshina of Swami's Prashanti Nilayam basically, right, in the morning before Suprabhatam. So we used to do that every single day and praying that Swami I should get admission in school, right? So that was, very memorable because I don't think I had woken up that early for that long before that.
Particularly at that age.
Yes.
I think we're really getting up earlier every day.
Yes. But it was very refreshing.
Yeah.
And eventually after 2 rounds of interview, I got selected and I was able to join Swami school. It felt very much like home, and as I was sharing that my first interaction with Swami happened on the very first day. In the evening itself, he came and asked me where I was from and just made me very, very comfortable actually. Right? What struck me was that how approachable Swami was. You could just ask him anything, you could talk to him about anything. And every day, morning and evening, we would have Swami's darshan. So a strong faith in Swami developed basically during those 2 years. The faith was such that that probably was transformational for the rest of my life. In India, especially so we do our thread ceremony basically when you're when you're kind of in your teenage. So Swami also did my thread ceremony when I was in 10th grade. So that was another very special moment, and he initiated me with the mantra, Gayatri mantra basically. And he said that this is the only mantra that you need to remember. Just say that every single day and you will be protected, and I've been doing that since that day, every single day. So I was a sportsman right from my childhood. I used to play a lot of cricket. And after going there as well, I continued playing a lot of cricket. I remember, representing my team, and we won the match, and I got the man of the match award. I was an all-rounder. I used to bat and bowl and all of that, and Swami gave me a cup basically. He specifically came for the function in the hostel, in the dining room, and then we had a nice celebration, and that's where he gave the cup. So
what a great chance that was.
That was very, very special moment. And then a very special memory is when before starting the exam, we actually had gone to take Swami's blessings, and we were just like 10 or 12 of us. And Swami just came out in that veranda where we used to sit basically. And he was just standing right next to me, leaning one of his hand on my shoulders for almost like 5 minutes and just casually talking basically and chatting and just asking just regular questions. It was, Swami next to you always feels very powerful. I mean, that energy is definitely there when he's around, right? But then we knew that Swami is like, so it was very special, and I didn't know he was going to stand for 5 minutes. So he was just chatting with us and talking with us, and probably, I was probably, my size was probably just right size for him to kind of raise his hand and kneel his hand. So I was very fortunate, basically, that I was not too tall or I was not too short. I was probably just the right size that Swami wanted me to be, and I consider that as a huge blessing, actually.
Are there any stories from your family that were miracles that happened in your family, or big instances where someone was transformed or anything?
Yeah, my father's life completely transformed. A lot of miracles has happened in his life. I'll just tell you one of those instances where there was some legal case which was going on, and Dad had to appear in the court because of some business dispute was there, and he actually went and said that if this is the court date, I really cannot come because I have some commitment, basically, Swami's organization, and I'm going to go there. And he actually did not go to the court. And the lawyer next day called and said that even though you did not show up in the court, you have still won the case. The judge gave the verdict in your favor. So there were many instances like that where Dad would just leave things at work to just go and do what was more Swami's service. Sometimes he would just, for example, he would just go for 2 weeks to Prashanti Nilayam for doing service. It doesn't matter what's on his way. He would just drop everything and go. And nothing ever stopped. Everything just moved. Miraculously, there are many instances like that. My grandmother was the first one, maternal grandmother. And she in fact was a permanent resident, and she lived in Prashanti Nilayam during her later years. So my grandfather was in railways. They used to get all these free train passes, basically, right? So she would just come in the train and then go to Puttaparthi and live there for months together.
What else does she say about the early days? What do you remember hearing from her?
I think she would mainly talk about how informal everything was. I mean, she would always say that now, I'm not able to interact with Swami as much as I used to.
That's good.
And when I was studying in Puttaparthi, she was living there as well.
Yeah.
She has seen several instances of Swami healing basically people. I think that was one a big thing, right? Mm-hmm. That kind of stucks actually when somebody is not well and they go in an interview room and come out getting cured just sticks basically, right? Mm-hmm. So they usually talked more about all those instances that this person, that person, so many people Swami has cured.
So Vijay, who is Sai Baba?
Well, I think Swami is in each one of us, right? So we can just call him with whatever name we want, right? We look at each other. You are Sai Baba. He's Sai Baba. You're looking at a tree. So Swami is, I think, he's everywhere, right? That is the reason I keep his picture everywhere. The day I will get to that state where I don't need his picture, I'll feel blessed, but I'm far from that right now. Right now, I need to see his picture wherever I'm going because, so I have one in my office, I have a picture right in my desk, there is a picture, and that picture is a very special picture because that picture has a story actually, a beautiful story. I'll show you that picture. So when we were studying in Puttaparthi, there were some students who used to actually go and serve him dinner every single day. The dinner used to be cooked in the hostel and he would just take it. So in one such instances, Swami would just sit and sometimes he would just say that, okay, click my picture basically, right? So in one such instances when he was sitting, he just asked one of the students to click a very close up. Piyush was his name basically. He clicked a very close picture. Swami's just face basically. That's a beautiful picture, I'll show you. So when that picture got printed and it came, he showed me, he was my friend, and I said, oh, this is a beautiful picture. why don't you give this picture to me? He said, yeah, you can have it. So I took it, and that day evening when I went for Swami's darshan, I showed this to Swami and I said, Swami, because when we'll give him a picture, he will just write with love Baba, right? He will just write and give it back to you. So he looked at that picture and looked at me, and he very casually just wrote and gave it back to me. And then that day evening, he called Piyush and said that, how did he get that picture? And next day morning, he came, oh my goodness, you took this picture and why did you take this picture to Swami actually? I said, I had no idea that, I was not supposed to. He said, I want this picture right away. I want it back. And the day you will leave Puttaparthi, I'll give it to you. And he took that picture back, and when I was leaving, he gave me that picture. So that picture sits on my table.
Oh, lovely. How do you see your life having moved from what it could have been to what it is? And if you want, what practices or anything that really helped you in your life that could help others also?
I keep Swami first in my life. Feeling his presence and be aware of his presence all the time, right? In whatever you're doing, right? Even right now, for example, we are having this satsang, we are sitting and talking, and I'm sure Swami is here. But the most important thing is to surrender to him and let him drive your life. Yeah.
A more complicated question. How do you surrender to Swami?
Well, the way to surrender to Swami is, first of all, it's easier said than done, but not having any desires of your own, right? And most of the things that develop some kind of unhappiness is when you try to have certain kind of a desire or certain kind of outcome to any event, basically, right? So the way to surrender to Swami is let him take control of everything that concerns you or your life. And I just let the day to unfold in a manner it has to unfold. And I just respond to the way the day unfolds. It's a series of events that happens during the day, and I'm just trying to respond to those events as if those events are really, being created by Swami. And all I have to do is respond to the best of my ability and just leave it there without expecting any outcome. And life has been very peaceful and fulfilling because I had my own plans for my life. But none of those plans manifested. But what manifested is much better than what I could have ever imagined.
Jai Saram, Vijay.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you so much for sharing, brother.
No, thank you for having me.
Saram.